Welcome to Ready Steady Charge. On this very last long holiday of the summer, we've decided to take our bikes to a 60-kilometer biking challenge from Lake Louise to Castle Junction and back to Lake Louise again. Now, it wouldn't be too much of a challenge for something beefy like the electric XP 2.0. So we've decided that the focus of today's video is going to be on something with less range, the Jetson Bolt Pro. Let's take a look to see by the end of the day today if this thing makes it or not. So you might be able to tell by now already that the Jetson Bolt Pro really isn't a premium e-bike by any means. Not in terms of power and definitely not in terms of range. Let me put things into a bit of a perspective here. The Jetson Bolt Pro has a 350 watt motor. That might sound like a lot of power, but it really isn't. The likes of the electric XP 2.0 or the iGo that we've previously reviewed, they're both able to have a motor that generates 500 watts of continuous power and 750 watts of peak power. So 350 watts, really not that much. Now, in terms of range, the Jetson Bolt Pro claims to have a pedal assist range of about 35 kilometers and a pure electric power range of about 25 kilometers. So we're definitely going to run out of range however we pedal on our 60-kilometer journey today. But worry not, for we have an ace up our sleeve. So today I actually brought along with us a fast charger for the Jetson Bolt Pro. So the stock charger for the Jetson is only rated for 42 volts and 1.5 amps. Now this fast charger I brought along with us can actually do 42 volts and 5 amps. So that's definitely going to speed up our charging session at Castle Junction by quite a bit. Our plan is to stop there, get a bit of a rest, and stretch our legs while eat some food and charge the bikes at the same time. So we're about 5 kilometers away from Castle Junction. That means we've traveled about 25 kilometers from Lake Louise already. So far, the Jetson Bolt Pro has handled very well, and I'm somewhat comfortable on the seat. Now, talking about the seat, I want to talk a little bit about one of my pet peeves about the stock setup of the Jetson Bolt Pro, and that is the lack of suspension and the firm seats that it had. So the stock Jetson Bolt Pro only had some very shallow and stiff springs under its seats, and it's not very comfortable for you to be on that seat for any extended duration of time. So I decided to go on Amazon and purchase some aftermarket suspension seat posts. So these suspension seat posts not only gives me an added layer of comfort so that there's a bit more give when I'm bouncing up and down, especially on rougher terrain, it also lengthens the existing seat post, which gives someone like me who's about 172 centimeters tall, just enough or adequate amount of height for me to sit on comfortably and still pedal. We finally arrived at Castle Junction. That was about 30 kilometers that we traveled on our respective e-bikes. Now Solomon behind the camera and I are both famished, so we're going to help ourselves to some snacks at the picnic table there. Now in terms of our bikes, we're also going to give our bikes some break as well. Now, one of the things that we always talk about when it comes to EV road trip is ABC, and that acronym stands for Always Be Charging. We're going to do the same thing for the Jetson Bolt Pro. Here is the fast charger that I was talking about earlier. It is rated for 5 amps output and 42 volts. So we're going to plug this end to the extension cable that I brought along with me. And of course, that's connected to a wall outlet, 120 volts. And this end, I'm going to connect directly to the e-bike itself. There will be an indicator light that's going to turn on here once I'm connected to the Jetson Bolt. Let's take a look. There you go. The red light is on, and you can also hear, perhaps here, if I move it closer, the ventilation fan that's inside of this charging block. It needs that active air cooling because this is a high-powered charger. Hopefully it will deliver about 80% state of charge to the Jetson Bolt Pro in about an hour of time.
A few moments later.
All right, so we've stayed here at Castle Junction for about 45 minutes. Solomon and I had both had some snacks to eat, and we also used the washroom and facilities here as well. We gave our body a bit of a movement break as well because our butt and our back are pretty sore from the long bike ride. Our bikes have also had the opportunity to top themselves up. The Jetson Bolt Pro only charged for about 45 minutes, and the reason for that is because we arrived here with approximately 50% state of charge, and I didn't really think we needed the full 1 hour to charge it up. Remember, as we approach the higher end of the state of charge, the charging speed also decreases into essentially what becomes trickle charging, and we didn't really want to waste our time doing that. So what we're going to do in turn is going to go to a place called Baker Creek Mountain Resort. It's about halfway between Castle Junction and Lake Louise, and I'm going to spend another 15 minutes topping itself there. Hopefully we'll be able to arrive there with a lower state of charge so we can get higher charging speed. So we'll see you there. Okay, we've arrived at the Baker Creek Mountain Resort. Now we've covered about halfway between Castle Junction and Lake Louise. We have about 12 more kilometers to go. And as you can see here, we're plugged in again into a 120 volt outlet, and we're fast charging the Jetson Bolt Pro. Now you might be wondering, why are you charging so much? Well, the Jetson Bolt Pro again is not a very long distance road trip bike. It's really meant for city commute. So today's 60-kilometer challenge is really pushing the Jetson Bolt Pro to its absolute limit. And trust me when I tell you, you really don't want to be on a Jetson Bolt Pro when it's completely out of juice. Because of its single gear design, as you can see, there's absolutely no gearing for this, different gearing for the Jetson Bolt Pro. You're going to be having a very miserable time if you're going up a hill, especially a steep one, without any battery assist. And that's why we're getting the Jetson Bolt Pro charged up at every opportunity we get. Even a little bit of juice goes a long way to help you climb a mountain. All right, we made it on the Jetson Bolt Pro. So can the Jetson Bolt Pro do the Lake Louise 60-kilometer challenge? The answer is yes. It was pretty fun and exhilarating knowing that the bike can do it. However, it wasn't the most comfortable bike to bring on a trip of this caliber. Of course, there are many other longer range bikes out there, such as the electric XP 2.0. Stay tuned for the review of that particular e-bike. It will be coming down the road. So thank you again for tuning in to our channel, Ready, Steady, Charge. Thank you again for watching.